Welcome back. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make a super cute wax seal handmade paper card. My name is Betsy Goodman. I'm a wax seal and lettering artist, and I'm super excited to show you this fun and easy project today. So let's jump in. Okay, let me show you what you're going to need for this project. So first you're going to need some handmade paper, and this is paper from my online shop. You're going to need some scrapbooking or craft paper as well. And then you'll also want to have a bone folder, pencil, ruler, X-Acto knife, scissors, and this is a dot glue runner, which is super helpful. We're also going to need a wax seal stamp of your choosing, some crystal clear hot glue that's warming up in the glue gun, some bunches of some dried greenery or florals, also a Krylon gold leafing pen. I love this one. And then I'm also going to be using some ribbon, and I have my envelope with an outer envelope as well. So let's jump in. So the first thing that you want to do is start with your envelope. So I have this small one, and this is what I'm going to put my little card into. And then this is the one I'm going to use as an outer envelope. And it's quite a bit bigger, but it's what I have on hand, so I'm going to go with it. So the first thing I need to do is start with my handmade paper. And the size that I'm going to need for this is 7 inches by 4 7/8. So I'm just going to go this direction, and I'm actually going to use my bone folder to make a mark at 7 inches, because sometimes it's hard to erase on handmade paper. So I'll just put a little mark there, and that's where I know that I'm going to tear. So I'm going to put my ruler down, make sure it's lined up, and then just pull up on the ruler, and then you're left with this nice torn edge. From here I can do the other dimensions, which was 4 7/8. And then I have my card here, and I just want to make sure that I have the prettiest side of the torn paper on the outside. I'm just going to fold it in half and use my bone folder to get a nice flat fold. From here you can compare it to your envelope and see if it fits. And it looks like mine is a little bit on the tall side, so I can pull a little bit more off of each of these ends. So then you can tear a little bit more off and then check, and you can see that a lot of these sides are really bendy, but that's looking a little bit better. So we can go with this size, and this is going to work great. So here's a paper template that is 2 inches by 3 inches, and we're going to use this to cut out a little window on our card. So we can place it on the inside and center it. And we'll just go around with pencil. And we can use an X-Acto knife. Once we get the window cut out, the next thing is going to be putting the paper behind. So we can use a little bit of a larger template. So we're going to want to go a little bit bigger for our paper that fills this space. So we'll just go to the back of the paper, and it's going to be 2.5 inches by 3.5 inches. So now we have our paper, so you can see kind of how it's going to come together here. But we do need to use some glue to attach this. So I like using these dot glue runners, and I like to put it over a piece of paper because I don't need the whole width of these glue dots. I just want about half, so I just want a little bit, and you just roll it where you need it along the edge. and then you can just add your paper here. So this is how it's looking. It's so, so cute. Our last step is going to be adding a seal to it. Next, you want to grab some greenery, and this was just some greenery that was from a bouquet that I got during Christmas time, and since then it's dried. So we're just going to cut off some of the little branches. And I like to do 2 of them. And kind of like arrange them like so. And I'll pull off any little extra pieces so it's just the stems themselves. And then I'm going to do some hot glue, and I'm going to use an extra big stamp to press it, but I'm not pouring enough wax that it'll make this entire seal. It'll just be a portion of it. So I'm just going to pour a little bit of hot glue, less than I would need for a whole seal, and then press. And I don't really want the hot glue coming out of the seal because I just want it to be smaller and just some of the design. So we're going to allow that to cool. It's going to take about 20 to 30 seconds. The other thing that I didn't mention about this stamp is that it's been on an ice pack. I'm sure you can see there's condensation on it, but it's nice and cold. So if the metal's cold, it won't stick to the hot glue. Once it's dried, we can pull it off. So you can see we didn't really get an edge or a lip, which is what we're going for. And I also chose a stamp pattern that had a lot of design on it. So once we add the gold, it's going to cover up most of those stems. So we'll take our Krylon gold leafing pen, and we're just going to go over the top. And we're just going on the designed part of the seal, and you can see that those stems get hidden pretty well because there's so much of this design here. From here, I'm going to put it into the envelope, and I can already tell that I'm going to need to trim this little greenery down so it will fit. And because we're adding some thickness to this, we're most likely going to need several stamps. So we can seal it here, and you can see it's a little thicker than a normal envelope because we've got our seal and this. So we'll seal it. So I did tie it a little bit low so that it's kind of still over where the flap of the envelope is, and then we're going to put a seal here. So the first thing that we want to do anytime we have a knot or something we're pouring a seal onto is kind of level out our working surface. So we'll pour a tiny amount of hot glue with a cold blank stamp. We're just going to press that, and you have to hold it here for a while because it's not set yet. So we'll just hold it for a minute or so, and once it's kind of set, now I can let go and just let it sit and dry. From here, once it's cooled, we can remove that, and you can see we have this really nice flat surface to work with now. So we can do more hot glue now, enough for a large seal. So we're using the same one we used on the inside, and we'll press. And we're still going to want to hold it for just a minute just because the ribbon's there, and so it's not still, even though we flattened it, it's not totally flat. And then once we've got a good hold, we can let go and allow it to cool. All right, we've allowed it to cool. I'm giving it a little extra time to cool just because we've got a lot of glue on there, but our stamp should just pop out. And again, because we use this design that's has such a great pattern that fills kind of the whole thing, once we add the gold, it's going to look really great. Okay, and then the last thing that you're going to want to do is just trim any of this excess ribbon. And we'll just want to let this dry, and then it will fit perfectly inside an A2 sized envelope. So we're going to put it in here as the outer envelope that has the mailing address and the stamp, and this will be what is on the inside. This is how they turned out. They're super cute. Super pretty, simple, easy to make, but they would make such a great little gift, a little thank you note for someone special or who needs a little something. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel for more inspiration for how you can incorporate wax seals and lettering into your everyday life.